What if I told you that in the future, getting sick will be a thing of the past, and will we be able to extend our lifespan? Not because medicine became magical, but because it became something far more powerful, predictive, preventive, and completely programmable. This isn't pure fantasy. It's based on plausible scientific extrapolations according to current trends. Imagine a world where disease isn't a sudden, terrifying event, but a simple statistical anomaly, something we can detect and fix decades before it even thinks about showing up. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a future we're building right now, brick by brick, discovery by discovery. Let's start with one of humanity's oldest enemies, aging. In this future, we don't cure aging. That would be like trying to cure time itself. Instead, we've broken it down into its core components, its fundamental mechanisms, and we've learned to treat each one individually. Think of it like maintaining a classic car. You don't just wait for it to break down. You meticulously care for every part. We address the shortening of telomeres, those protective caps at the end of our chromosomes. We clear out the accumulation of misfolded proteins that gum up our cellular machinery. We reverse cellular senescence, stopping zombie cells from spreading inflammation. We tackle chronic systemic inflammation, mitochondrial damage, and the cumulative epigenetic errors that scramble our cellular instructions over time. Each of these processes, once an unstoppable force of nature, is now a solvable problem with a specific technological solution. So, how do we actually do it? Let's look at the key therapies that have become routine. First up is something called periodic partial epigenetic reprogramming. Picture this. Every 10 to 15 years, you undergo a controlled cell renewal process. It's like hitting a soft reset button on your cells, reversing age markers without wiping their memory or identity. It's not about turning you back into a baby. It's about restoring your cells to their prime, over and over again. Next, we have permanent intravascular nanomedicine. This is where it gets really sci-fi. A fleet of biocompatible nanorobots, microscopic doctors, circulate permanently within your bloodstream. Their job is 24/7 maintenance. They repair tiny lesions in your blood vessels before they become a problem. They hunt down and eliminate precancerous cells the moment they appear. They correct spontaneous genetic mutations on the fly and keep your arteries completely free of plaque. It's the ultimate proactive healthcare system, working from the inside out. And what about when an organ does eventually wear out? We don't wait for a donor. That entire system is obsolete. Instead, we have programmed organ replacement. Using a patient's own stem cells, we grow a perfect brand new organ using 4D bioprinting. This isn't just a static copy. It's a dynamic living structure. The process includes pre-programmed vascularization, meaning the organ grows its own blood vessels. It has built-in neural integration, so it connects seamlessly to your nervous system. And it's perfectly tuned to your immune system, so there's zero chance of rejection. Replacing a heart, for instance, becomes a minimally invasive procedure with a success rate of 99.9%. You walk in with an old heart and walk out with a new one, biologically identical to the one you had in your 20s. But even with bodies that can be perpetually repaired and renewed, there's one final frontier, one true limit, the brain. While we can regenerate almost any other tissue, our identity, our memories, our very sense of self, is tied to the delicate and continuous network of our neurons. Replacing the brain isn't an option, so we develop 3 sophisticated strategies to preserve it. First, repair without replacement. We use incredible microstructures, think of them as nanoscale scaffolds, to restore damaged synapses and neural pathways without altering the memory stored within them. It's like repairing a delicate tapestry one thread at a time, preserving the original image completely. Second, cognitive backup. This isn't about uploading your consciousness to a computer, which turned out to be far more complex than we imagined. Instead, we perform a periodic mapping of your brain's key structures and functions. We map your connectome, the wiring diagram of your brain along with your active memory patterns and recurring emotional states. It's not a complete copy of you, but a restorative model. If you were to suffer a severe brain injury, this model could be used to guide nanobots in rebuilding the damaged areas, restoring function and memory with astonishing fidelity. Third, and this is where things get really interesting, is hybrid integration. Some people choose to integrate synthetic, non-biological modules into their brains. These modules can extend memory, boost processing speed, or even grant new sensory capacities. Imagine being able to see in infrared or access vast databases with a single thought. Of course, this opened up a whole new world of possibilities and ethical debates that have shaped society for centuries. What does it mean to be human when part of your mind is synthetic? So, the big question, how long do we live in this future? For most people, the average lifespan is between 180 and 250 years. And we're not talking about 200 years spent in a nursing home. We're talking about living with the physical functionality of a healthy 40 or 50-year-old from the 21st century. Some individuals, combining continuous cellular renewal with hybrid neural support and profound metabolic interventions, have lived beyond 300 years. But there is no true immortality. Death still exists. It just happens for very different reasons. Many people simply choose to end their lives voluntarily, feeling they've experienced enough. Others succumb to a kind of cognitive saturation or existential fatigue. And, of course, extreme accidents or rare, unpredictable systemic failures can still occur. But overall, the annual mortality rate has plummeted to less than 0.2%. Our relationship with our own biology has fundamentally changed. Gene editing, for example, is no longer about the controversial idea of improving humans. Instead, its focus is on health and adaptation. We use it to eliminate predispositions to hereditary diseases, optimize our bodies for radiation resistance, which is absolutely key for our colonies on Mars and beyond, and adapt our metabolism to thrive on new synthetic diets. Modifying core cognitive traits is strictly regulated and requires generational consent, preventing a genetic arms race. Even our blood has been upgraded. It's now partially synthetic, engineered to transport oxygen far more efficiently. It contains molecular sensors that constantly monitor our health, acting as a real-time internal diagnostic system that alerts us to problems long before we ever feel a symptom. And what about the most fundamental biological act of all, reproduction? Natural reproduction definitely still exists and is cherished, but is now complemented by other options. We have extracorporeal gestation artificial wombs that provide a perfectly safe and controlled environment for a developing fetus. We have preventive genetic selection to screen out devastating diseases before conception. And we use supervised genetic mixing to ensure our species maintains robust genetic diversity. With lifespans so long, the birth rate is carefully managed to maintain a delicate balance with our planet's resources. This isn't a future of sterile, robotic immortals. It's a future where we've finally taken control of our own biology. A future where we've replaced the fear of decay with the freedom of longevity. We've become the careful, proactive gardeners of our own bodies, allowing us to live not just longer lives, but fuller, healthier, and more vibrant ones. It's a profound shift in what it means to be alive.
Enjoyed this video? Please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us create more amazing content. Thank you.